Well, let's just go into the word chakra a little bit and what it is. Here's a picture of the chakras, and notice these images associated with the chakras. Um, these images are actually not part of the classical tradition of chakras, but these images are associated with different elements. And people map certain elements onto certain chakras, and that's why they map those images there. But the chakras are not actually associated with elements in the classical tradition. Anyway, that's a little bit newer. But what is a chakra in the first place? The word chakra literally means wheel or circle, and they are simply put locations where you feel your body more than others, where you have more awareness or more sensation at these points. And, there's this tendency again to make them very mystical, but I think this definition really captures what it is and is a very useful practical definition. Your heart is a part of your body that you feel more than other parts. Your head, your solar plexus, your anus area around your butt, or your sexual and reproductive organs. I mean, you just can feel those organs more than other parts of your body, more than, say, your shoulder, for example. No, people talk about the feelings they have in their heart all the time, but no one says, oh, I have, I was going to say a cold shoulder, but then I was like, oh, people do actually talk about a cold shoulder. So yeah, there's some feeling in the shoulder too, right? Those kinds of sayings, cold shoulder, or you stab me in the back, or whatever, reflect how we feel emotions physically in our body and how we express ourselves emotionally with our body. But the heart is clearly one where you feel that more than, say, your bicep or your elbow or something like that. And yeah. So chakras are a sort of locus or centers where you feel your body more. And they're also areas where you might have increased mental processing as well. We talk about the gut brain and the heart brain and the brain itself, and those three organs have chakras associated with them, right? There's the third eye is a chakra, and that's kind of attached to your brain, and the heart is attached to your heart brain. Well, you have a ton of nerves around your heart. You have a ton of nerves in your gut. A third of your nervous system is actually in your gut. And so we process our instincts in our gut, or we process connection with other people in our heart. And so those chakras are areas where we do have significant processing of emotions. Different chakras may be located in nerve centers like the solar plexus as well. And chakras really are the sort of main places where there is a strong connection between your body and mind. So, yeah, you might have, this is also relatively newer, that chakras are associated with different emotional tendencies, that like the idea that your root chakra is associated with feelings of survival and things like that. I think there's some truth to that, but I do want to disclose that that's newer innovations. Carl Jung, a modern psychologist, did a lot of work mapping this stuff out, and that's only from a few decades ago. That's not ancient Sanskrit where there's emotions that are associated with a specific chakra. It's just important to note that there's been a lot of development in that over the last century, that's not all classical. Even some of the modern teachers in India are using some of this more later development information. And it's just important to recognize that that's not necessarily traditional, even if it's valuable. There's been recent stuff associating chakras with endocrine glands and all that kind of thing. And that's just all newer stuff. A lot of it is based on like doctrine of similarity, that earth element goes along with this kind of color or this kind of emotion, and so that's associated with the root chakra. But classically, what do the ancient Sanskrit texts say about chakras? That they're centers of awareness. That's part of the classical definition. But how were they used? Yogis were told to put certain mantras, deities, and images associated with the elements, the five elements, in each chakra. And there were many different chakra systems, not just the 7th chakra, but there were like 15 chakra systems, etc. And they were used for different meditation lineages and different meditation practices for different results. And I mentioned already that the idea that a particular emotion being associated with a particular chakra was invented by Carl Jung, a popular Western psychologist in the 1950s. So, but these days, when you open up textbooks, they use the 7 chakra system, which was developed in the 1500s, not developed then, but became the most popular one in the 1500s. So that being about 500 years ago, and they're listed here. The root chakra being located at the base of the spine, and then the sacral plexus, the sacral chakra associated with the sexual reproductive organs, and then the solar plexus, Manipura chakra, the heart chakra, throat, third eye, and then the crown. Oh, where did that one go? Oh, there we go. Yeah, the crown chakra. And the crown chakra is people associate that with transcendence, right? It's almost like going out of the body. So there's some spiritual angles or different ways that the chakras are used spiritually. And so you really want to make sure that you study those spiritual philosophies and understand them and understand the implications and all that, so that you know how to use this stuff in a way that's gonna actually benefit you. Because the crown chakra, for example, is called the bliss chakra, but it's a particular theory of bliss in Eastern spirituality or Sankhya spirituality, yoga spirituality, and we just want to make sure that that resonates with us. That we actually think that is blissful. So just check those things out, and just know what it is that you're getting into there. So chakras can become blocked from a number of reasons, and that term "blocked" is a kind of vague term. What does it mean that your heart is blocked? Well, that's left for interpretation. But tension, trauma, stress, fear, etc. can interrupt mental processing or create musculoskeletal tension in the area of a chakra, and that can disturb it. You could be really anxious in your belly, and that's going to disturb the 2nd and 3rd chakras. So similar to pressing a marma point,